What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, and today we're talking about Black Myth Wukong for the PlayStation 5 because today I woke up and the first reviews are beginning to drop. They're mostly positive. We're going to take a look at it, but I did notice a lot of people kind of insulting it and saying, don't buy it on PlayStation. So I want to talk about why, and I want to take a look at the gameplay that's now been released because it seems to raise a couple question marks about the overall quality. But let's get into it. Hi, hope you're having a great day, and if you could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I've been traveling for the last week. I went to New York and stuff like that, so go look at my Instagram if you want to see some New York posts. But my point is the fact that if my voice sounds a bit tiny weird today, I'm just that. But so I woke up and I noticed that IGN had just posted their deep dive analysis of the game itself. And I was surprised because to me, this does look incredibly good. I mean, if you haven't heard of it, Black Myth Wukong is a Souls-like, but honestly, not only gorgeous, it looks very, very different. It's just a mythology, a mythos, a magic that we haven't seen in this style of game. But a lot of the complaints I've noticed rising to the top is how badly it performs on PC. It only runs, it runs at a pretty steady frame rate, but the deeper into the game you get, the more hard crashes you encounter, and certain later areas are actually saying it's damn near unplayable with such atrociously bad optimization. But here's where the suspicions begin to rise. A lot of people are mad because, honestly, the review scores seem like they perhaps should be higher, saying like, okay, Genshin Impact is a 9, but IGN gives it an 8. Cyberpunk 2077 was also broken at launch, and yet it got a 9. How does this game get an 8? But scores aside, man, look at all those dislikes. Oh yeah, be sure to like and subscribe, by the way. I was noticing that it does seem like people are beginning to sort of cultivate a conspiracy theory about how this game is made for PlayStation. There's been a lot of talks and rumors initially that maybe Sony was partially funding it. It's delayed on Xbox. It's only coming to the PS5 when it comes to consoles here in 3 days. But shockingly, nobody in the world has been allowed to play it on the PS5. Everybody is only playing it on the PC, and even a lot of PC reviewers and Xbox reviewers, well, they're not happy with it. I am seeing a lot of people like making fun of this. Windows Central definitely seems to skew in favorability. If something comes to Game Pass, they give it a 10 out of 10. There's a lot of jokes about that, but here's the thing. I think that Black Myth Wukong is still going to be a great game. A lot of times, even a game does actually launch with some performance problems. A lot of times it does get patched, and if you wait a couple months, obviously it's a lot cheaper to buy it. But I did see people saying that it is pretty bizarre that this coming out here in 4 days, and it's not actually playable on a PS5 by any journalist, any reviewer, any Let's Player. Nobody on the planet has access to it, which is bizarre since Sony themselves has been advertising it as the most anticipated PS5 game of the year. Now, this is, of course, a bit of an indictment of PlayStation themselves, the fact that Sony is hyping third parties this hard. But here's the other part of it. And part of the reason I'm slightly hesitant, I am still going to buy the game. I am still excited to beat it. I am a big From Software fan. And, obviously after the Elden Ring DLC, I've been craving more of that fun difficulty. But apparently that's where it's most lacking. So Tamor Hussein, I've quoted this guy multiple times in videos. I feel like I am an Elden Ring fan. This guy is a Dark Souls fanatic. He has beaten every From Software game in every single possible format. The man is just so obsessively dedicated that I respect his opinion when it comes to From Software way above anybody else, for the most part. But He said this: I played Black Myth Wukong. It's a beautiful game that just didn't click with me. The boss rush format is a really interesting approach, but the game doesn't feel challenging and the combat does not flow well for me. Every time between the bosses is very trite. So yeah, it sounds like the game is pretty much just boss, a little bit of content, boss, a little bit of content. Whereas a lot of times when it comes to From Software style games, part of the fun is getting to a new area, exploring, purposely taking the wrong path to find another upgrade or crafting material. The fact that Black Myth Wukong has almost none of that, I didn't realize that from watching the trailers, so that's a bit disappointing. But he goes on here: I don't need the game to be hard to enjoy it, but the lack of challenge translates to the combat not really feeling like they're designed for and around. And also the strategy for most bosses is always the same and requires little thought in execution. So he's being vague here, but I wonder if this is one of those games where one mechanic is just bustedly strong, whether it is parries or dodge rolls or whatever. It does suck when there's a game that just straight up seems like it's well balanced until you find the one button you can press to instant delete everything. World design is also a bit of a downer. Looks beautiful, feels very linear while having the illusion of openness in a very obvious way. I think some people will really like it, and I can see why they would, but it just didn't work for me. I played it on PC, it ran fine, but I've been hearing from other people of inconsistencies with it. Didn't get access to console. Again, it looks stunning. It reminds me of Blue Point's Demon's Souls remake visually. That's good. I will admit that I was hoping for a bit more. I mean, when it comes to just the raw quality of it and the raw excitement, I have seen some people saying that an 8 is too low. The amount of people that are mad about the 8 out of 10 is a bit strange to me. I think I'm in a spot where when we begin to see PlayStation 5 footage, maybe then I'll buy it. Or maybe because they haven't provided any PS5 review codes, maybe that's what I'll do. Look, I'll make you guys a deal. I wasn't planning on buying this at launch. I'm working on other stuff, but I'm pretty curious about this, and I'm curious if you guys are curious. So I'll make you a deal. If this video gets 1,000 likes, I will actually buy the game and try it out on PS5 day one. We'll see, how good it actually is. Because Black Myth Wukong, it does look pretty fantastic. I am incredibly excited about it. It's just the pages and pages of comments saying it sounds like it was made for PC, and even then it's not running great. Bad performance in a game like this is extremely, extremely bad. Now, if you haven't played a lot of these Souls-likes, being able to properly react, to pivot, to memorize boss patterns, and hit your own carefully timed blows, it's incredibly crucial. And frame drops, lag, input delays, anything like that is not just annoying, it's game breaking. If this game is having any amount of hard crashes on PS5, I think it's going to have some very big issues. Now, it could end up still being great. There have been times in the past where a game comes out and it's funky on PC but runs really, really good on PlayStation. We'll see. But currently, I think you should think of it as a buyer beware. If you have not bought it yet and you're planning on getting it on PS5, just consider this as a giant pause, wait, temper your excitement, and let's see how it actually runs at launch before we run out and drop $70 a pop. But what do you guys think about Black Myth Wukong, and do these review scores entice you? I'm definitely ready for it. I'm definitely excited for it, especially I've been playing so many other games like Concord. I put like 40 hours into Concord beta. I'm ready for that next week, but I'm ready. I'm ready for Black Myth Wukong. Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. Oh man. Oh god, hopefully this is just the best. Hopefully these 6s and 7s are a fluke. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.